ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up. All right, what's happening? What's happening, guys? It is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. And this morning, we're going to talk about who or what is stopping you. We're going to talk about some worry. We're going to talk about why we think the way that we think at times, why things kind of go the way that we go. And we're going to actually read out of one of my favorite books. I've shown this to you guys before, but Beyond Positive Thinking, probably on my fourth time reading through this. It's a book that I continue to read over and over and over again because I feel like this book is just something. It's a book that has changed my life without a doubt, but it's something that I get something new out of every single time that I read it. And so the title of today's show is actually chapter 10 in this book. It is Who or What is Stopping You. So I want to read this to you. But first, I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening? Dylan, Dawn, Kyle, Dayton. Give me 1 second here. Let me see who else is on here. We got 16 people in here. So Mr. Calloway, how are you, man? Good morning. Tammy, good morning. I can't see everybody. So good morning to you guys. Jeff Nelson, what's happening, brother? Thank you for jumping on. Everyone. And so here it goes. Who or what is stopping you? Have you ever wondered why most people expect the worst to happen and why we suffer so much? Suffering is the payoff that we get for being miserable in order to be happy. Make no mistake, there's a tremendous payoff in being miserable and having to suffer. Suffering is actually socially acceptable behavior. It's even encouraged. Perhaps your whole belief system is based on that. Have you ever noticed how miserable some of our love songs are, such as "The worst you ever gave me was the best I ever had"? The most popular greeting cards are the ones that have a lone tree or a lone bird on them, and the most popular love songs are the songs that talk about loneliness. Many people go to sleep at night replaying role dialogues about the way a boss is going to fire them, or about the disease that they might get, or about the loved one who is going to leave them. The solution is to recognize that we have a choice about running away from negative anticipation. I am not referring to ignoring problems because it is important to face the challenges that we have today. But if we face them with clarity of mind, that is free from negative anticipation, we have infinitely more wisdom and energy with which to handle these problems. That's just part one. I'm gonna go through some more, but I want you guys to think about that for a minute, because I believe right now we are being conditioned to all kinds of things that are negative. And so the reason that I started this show was to help people start their day better, to improve their life, hopefully. And you can only do that if you recognize these things that personally you are doing, and then the things that are kind of outside influences that are trying to do this to you. And it's a really important thing to realize who or what is stopping you. A lot of times it's probably yourself. A lot of times it's probably the patterns in which you think, the patterns that you've been taught to think in. This is not easy stuff to reprogram in yourself, but when you are able to accomplish it, it's unbelievably powerful. What's happening? Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Zach. What's happening, brother? Hope all is well down there in South Carolina. Breaking the pattern of worry is the next part here. The most regrettable aspect of worry is that we've lived through the anticipated event before it actually ever happens. When the event finally does occur, it is rarely what we anticipated. We have therefore unnecessarily experienced that event in the worst possible way, hour by hour and day by day. Even when things are good, we worry that they won't last. or we create a beautiful relationship with another individual, and through worry, we destroy it out of the fear of losing, or we have a marvelous job that we're very successful at, but we worry until something goes wrong and then we lose it. When you are worried, ask yourself this question: am I worrying constructively? Is this telling me something that needs to be changed, or is it out of fear? Fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of failure, or fear of what may not be in the future? Face your worry and see it as an illusion. It cannot exist until you give it power and you give it life. Worry really makes no sense at all. So why is it that we tend to believe in the worst? Why do we leap to illogical conclusions, to the unlikely negative possibilities? Have you ever noticed that we often say something is too good to be true, but we never say something is too bad to be true? This shows at a deep inner level that we usually and generally expect the worst. Worry is a habit that we've picked up through imitation. It seems that deep down inside, we do not have a fundamental trust that life itself supports us. Our bottom line belief is that life is out to get us. And if we don't worry, we will be caught off guard. I wanted to read that to you guys this morning for good reason, because I think that there is a lot of things out there in the world right now that are trying to make you worry. And I am not trying to, push my faith on anybody. I am not trying to, make anybody believe what I believe. But I will tell you this: if you allow the world to program your mind and you do not have discipline in your life that allows you to control and recognize when these things are happening, when you are starting to worry and you buy into that negativity, that overcoming feeling that everybody has felt, and I still feel it. I just want you guys to understand that. I'm not preaching from a pulpit here of I've figured this out. It is a journey for everyone. However, the only way that you can go on a journey is to take steps. And when you take steps to correcting this issue in yourself, to recognizing and correcting this issue by reading books like this, by recognizing the things that you do, recognizing those behaviors that don't serve you, that create more worry, not less, that create anxiety in the people around you because you become worried. Especially, when I see business leaders doing this, it's a really unfortunate circumstance, because I don't think that they always realize exactly how much influence they have over the people around them. When business owners are worried, it creates uncertainty in every single family, every single child that works for someone who works for that company. It is so imperative that we all take the time to understand these things about ourselves. And by the way, there's nothing to be ashamed of, or there's nothing to be worried about. Every single person has a level of worry. And so when you recognize that level of worry in yourself, you're able to manage that. You're able to start to make a difference in yourself. And by making a difference in yourself, you make a tremendous difference in other people. Much of what I talk about, much of what I communicate, I coach with people, it's through the consumption of books, of audio books, of things that I consume to try and make myself better. And then I try to share that journey with other people, with the people that I coach, with you guys here in the morning. But I would encourage you guys to start doing those kinds of things, to listen to things, to watch things, to educate yourself. Because what's happening in our world right now is this: people are trying to convince you of what you think. Everywhere. There are news channels, there's Facebook posts, there are people that are arguing back and forth that their position is right and your position is wrong, or vice versa. And so the only way that you establish control in your own life, that discipline, that you need to be successful is by educating yourself, by seeking out the things that you need to get better. Those things that are stopping you, who or what is stopping you. Could be other people. It could be yourself. It could be the things that you've believed since you were a kid because you were told to believe that. Examples that I use all the time. A penny saved is, everybody would say, a penny earned. Is it? Or is it just a penny? Or is that something that you believe that maybe a penny saved might not be as good as a penny invested? But if you don't think through that process of really analyzing what you think about, you might be more concerned about having too much money sitting in the bank, too much money invested into businesses versus saved. But my point is, there's no right or wrong answer to these things, but we are told certain things that become routine. They become something in our brain. There's a thing in our brain called the reticular activating system. If you guys want to read up on this, it is literally the program at which your brain operates, the reticular activating system. It's patterns. It's the way that we think. Have you ever driven down the road, and every one of us has a routine? When you're driving down the road and you find yourself in a place that you typically go to that you were not intending to go to, the reason that that happens is because your brain is functioning through its reticular activating system. It's a pattern. You are going through the same exact patterns. And the reason that I bring that up is, for a lot of people, that pattern is worry. That pattern is negative thoughts. That pattern is anxiety. That pattern is something that is not serving people very well. And so I would ask you to analyze those things and to think about who or what is really stopping you. I want to read this last part, and it's just 2 paragraphs, but it's worry is a choice. Put very simply, worry is a choice. You always have the choice to worry or not to worry. Worry comes from the belief that you are powerless. But the truth about you is that you're never powerless unless you think you're powerless. The problem with worry is that we attract the very things that we are trying to avoid. We live a self-fulfilling prophecy. Life keeps its argument with us through our beliefs, because whatever we think about, we bring about. Life is like a mirror. It reflects back whatever image we present to it. Have you ever thought about the power of positive thoughts versus negative thoughts? How when you find yourself in a rut in life, that what is it that actually gets you out of that? It's not by accident. It's the actions that you take. It's the mental shift that you make that allows you to get out of that rut. There's a quote that I believe Andy Frisella has used it. I don't know where it came from, but the only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth of the hole and how long you stay there. Think about that. I want you to think about the last 2 statements in this chapter here. Life is like a mirror. It reflects back whatever it is that we present to it. So as you go out into the world today, and there is plenty in this world right now that you could choose to buy into and worry about, or there is plenty today that you could do that will make a difference. And your future self and the future self of those people around you who you might have influence over will thank you for making the right choice. To not worry, to not give those worries, those things in your mind, do not give those things power, because they are just your imagination. What is going to happen in the future, you cannot predict, not with 100% accuracy at least. You can look at patterns, you can think things are going to work a certain way, but so many times, as the book says, we are living the things that we think will happen that actually never really happen, or they don't happen the way that we thought about them. We are living those things hour by hour, day by day, over and over and over again, and stealing away today. And every time that you steal away a day, That is a day that you wrote off, that you cannot create success from. You cannot create happiness from. You cannot create memories with your family or your friends because you have chosen to worry instead of living in the moment. Get one life, guys, one life. And if you spend that life allowing things to stop you, allowing things to slow you down, allowing people, things, comments, people's views to stop you, you will not live a fulfilled life. And that's a shame. Because there's a lot of people in hospital beds right now taking their last breath that would trade you places. That would trade you places to get another shot because they realize the importance of this. There are people on this stream right now who have had things happen in their life that have given them new perspective, medical things that gave them a look at what things could be like, that have a different perspective on life as a result of things that happen. But you have a choice today to live that way every day, to remind yourself. Write it down every morning if that's what you have to do. Create yourself a morning routine that puts you in the right mindset to have a great day and to share that great day with other people, to inspire one person who might inspire another, or might inspire 10 people. And then do the math on that. If you inspire 10 people and those 10 people inspire 10 people, and keep the math going and see how fast you can change millions of people's perspective. And that's all we're trying to do, guys. It's just to start every day together a little bit happier, right? With a little bit better perspective, understanding that life is not meant to be easy. There's a big misconception in life that everything's just supposed to be happy. Those that are happiest in life are not the ones that have great things happening to them all the time. They are the people that learn to deal with adversity most effectively, and with happiness and expectation that these are the things that happen to us. But they're grateful for every day. They're grateful for the good times, for the bad times, for the lessons that come from the bad and the memories that come from the good. But if you choose every day to live your life worrying or allowing things to stop you, you will not find the best version of yourself. You will not live the life that you were meant to live, that God gifted you with. You have a potential. And in my mind, I wake up every day trying to squeeze as much out of that potential as I possibly can, because that's what I was gifted. I was gifted the ability to be better than I am today. I'll be 41 years old here in a month. And I always say this: I never want the 41-year-old version of myself should look nothing like the 40-year-old version of myself. But that only happens if I do the work, if I put in the work on myself. I block out the noise. I allow those people that have something to say that used to bother me, I allow it to roll off my back. Because if you want to listen to what everybody else has to say, it's probably because you're not doing enough work on yourself to know exactly who you are. Think about that, guys. As you go out today and you spend time with the people around you, or you spend time with your family, if you're still at home working from home, think about these things and really evaluate yourself. And it's about creating that balance and figuring out those things in your life that are stopping you. What is it that's holding you back? Or who is it that's holding you back? And I say this with grace, with love, with care. There are sometimes people in your life that need to be removed, because for you to be able to stop worrying, for you to be able to find the best version of yourself that is capable of helping the most people in this world, those same people, it's that same routine that keeps holding you back. If you guys haven't heard the analogy of the crabs in the barrel, it's a really good one. So if you put one crab in a wooden barrel that crab can use its pinchers and it can crawl right out the side of the barrel, right? It can crawl up the side and get out. But if you've ever seen a barrel full of crabs, they never get out. None of them ever get out. You don't even have to put a lid on the barrel. They'll never get out. And the reason is that the other crabs, as one tries to get out the side, will pull that crab back in because they don't want that crab to get out of the barrel and them to be left in there with everybody else. And sometimes that's the analogy of our lives, is that there are people in our lives, sometimes the people that care about people the most, care about us the most, are the ones that are trying to hold you back. And it's not that they don't want you to succeed. It's that the number one thing that people care about when they care about people is they care about you being safe. And so what they are trying to portray to you is what they believe will keep you safe. Think about that. They don't care as much about whatever it is that you care about. If your goals are to build a family, to have success, if you might want 5 kids and your family might think, man, that is financially irresponsible for you to have 5 kids. But the reality of it is that if you don't do what makes you happy, what you are dreaming about, or what your life goals are, you will not feel fulfilled. So it has nothing to do with what other people try to advise you of. It's about working on yourself, listening to other people, certainly other people's opinions. I'm not saying they don't matter at all. I'm saying work on yourself repetitive until you understand exactly what it is that you want and have a crystal clear vision of where you're going. And I can tell you this, there was a time in my life where I thought I knew what I wanted. And I hope that I look back 5 years from now and say that day was today. But I can look back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I thought that I knew what I wanted. But as I go on this journey of developing myself, of listening to audiobooks, reading books, going to conferences that help me develop myself and learn, connecting with new people who give me a different perspective, both on business and life, and constantly trying to upgrade those people that are around me and looking for new friends that can influence me, better and help me rise to a new level. As I get through those things, I become more clear every single day on what I want, on what it looks like when my time here is done. And I spend a lot less time worrying about anything and thinking about the things that might stop me. Because when you get the right people around you, and I'm blessed to have a circle of people around me that are just incredible human beings. And when I need something, there's always somebody there for me. And if you don't have that, I would tell you to go seek it out. Once you get those people around you, once you build that circle and have the right friends, and you have the right people who are pushing you and always encouraging you and never telling you to be scared or worried, you will start to feel unstoppable, and you will stop thinking about all of those things that could stop you because you don't feel them anymore. You feel the wind at your back, and you feel like there's nothing that's going to stop the train from heading down the tracks and getting what you want. It's just a matter of time and how effective can you use your time to get there faster. But that comes, guys, from reading, from self-development, from listening to things like this. What I'm sharing with you is the knowledge that I collect from other places that I have collected over my lifetime. And I would encourage you to do the same. That shelf back there is just a portion of the books that I've read and that I own. As I've gotten older, man, knowledge has become one of the greatest things that I can possess because nobody can take it away from me. And as I have learned and I have shared, it has become the greatest thing in my life to be able to sit here and share this knowledge with you guys and then talk to people and see what they're doing and them learning and them sharing different things or finding new books for me to read or new people to follow. That's what it's all about, guys. It's about getting every ounce of orange juice out of the orange of life that you possibly can. So I would encourage you guys today to do some self-reflection. Think about, are you worrying too much? What is it in your life that is stopping you right now? And go full speed ahead, guys, to trying to educate yourself and do the things necessary to take yourself, your life, your family, your business, everything to the highest level that you possibly can, to your true potential. It's not about winning in life. It is about winning using your full potential. Sometimes when you're using your full potential, you'll lose. That is also a victory in my world. So I hope this was helpful for you guys this morning, man. It felt good. It was a good reminder for me. This book, again, is called Beyond Positive Thinking by Dr. Robert Anthony. I would encourage you guys. I order these books, man, because I give them away to people all the time. I ordered 5 at a time and just give them to people because I believe that, books and knowledge can change people's lives. And so I would encourage you guys, go to Amazon. If for some reason you can't find it or you need a copy or want a copy and you can't get your hands on one, shoot me a message and I'll send you one. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here this morning. I'll see you tomorrow morning, same place, same time on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.